feeling tension, stiffness, or dull aching around your hips, especially when standing, turning, or getting out of bed. These signs often mean your hip muscles aren't doing their job. That's why today, I'll guide you through 3 specific exercises designed to target and reactivate those weak stabilizers, so you can move more freely with less pain. And stay with me, because by the end, I'll reveal the one recovery step most people skip. Miss it, and even the best stretches won't stop that tightness from coming back. Let's start with a simple move that tackles a common issue. If your hips feel unstable when you walk, shift in bed, or step out of a car, your outer hip stabilizers may be asleep. This exercise will fix that. The clamshell directly targets the gluteus medius, a deep muscle on the side of your hip that controls side-to-side stability. When activated, it helps take pressure off the joint and keeps your pelvis aligned as you move. The reason this matters is simple. The gluteus medius acts like a shock absorber and a balancing beam. It prevents your hip from wobbling or collapsing inward when you put weight on one leg, something you do thousands of times a day. But if you sit often, favor one leg, or don't use these muscles consistently, they quietly weaken. That's when your hip joint starts picking up the slack, leading to stiffness, pain, or even that unstable catching sensation. That's why this move is a must. The clamshell re-engages this key stabilizer and helps restore your body's natural support system from the outside in. Here's how to do it. Lie on your side with your knees bent and your legs stacked. Keep your feet together while lifting your top knee, like a clamshell opening. Hold at the top for 3 to 5 seconds. Focus on that squeeze in the side of your hip, not your back or thigh. Then lower with control. Repeat 10 to 15 times, then switch sides to balance both hips. Once you're confident, you can add a resistance band just above your knees for added challenge. To feel it better, keep your core slightly braced and avoid letting your body roll backward. The motion is small but powerful when done right. As you get stronger, you can progress by straightening the top leg during the lift, turning this into a side-lying leg raise that builds endurance and control. And most importantly, remember, you're not just working your muscles, you're rebuilding the foundation that supports every step you take. Now, with the outer defenses reactivated, it's time to go deeper, right into the front of the hip, where tightness often hides unnoticed. Let's move into a powerful stretch that addresses one of the most overlooked causes of hip discomfort. If you feel tightness at the front of your hips, especially when leaning forward, standing up from a chair, or getting into the car, chances are your hip flexors are too tight. This next movement will help fix that. The frog rocker directly targets the hip flexors and inner thigh muscles, especially the psoas and adductors, and helps unlock hidden restrictions that limit your mobility. Now, here's why this happens in the first place. When we sit for long periods, like watching TV, driving, or even working at a desk, our hip flexors shorten. Over time, this tightness doesn't just reduce your range of motion, it subtly pulls your pelvis forward, throwing off your posture and adding pressure to the lower back and hips. That's why even light walking or stretching can start to feel uncomfortable. But this stretch resets that pattern. Here's how to do it. Start on all fours. Spread your knees wide apart, keeping your feet together behind you, like you're forming a frog-like stance. Make sure your hands are directly under your shoulders and your spine stays neutral. No arching or hunching. From this position, slowly rock your hips backward, like you're trying to sit your butt toward your heels. Then return forward with control. You should feel a deep stretch in your inner thighs and the front of your hips. Hold each backward position for about 15 to 20 seconds, then ease forward. Repeat this motion for 3 to 5 rounds at a comfortable pace. A few tips to make this more effective. Breathe deeply with each repetition. Avoid forcing the stretch. It should feel firm, not painful. If your knees are sensitive, place a pillow or towel underneath them for cushioning. And once this becomes easier, you can add a progression. Try gently turning your torso slightly to one side while rocking back. This adds a rotational stretch and reaches deeper into the hip capsule. You've just unlocked a major part of your hip's mobility system. But we're not stopping there. The final move will connect your hips with your core, the very muscles that control how you lift, bend, and stay balanced. Let's get into it. Let's wrap this up with the most important move of all, the one that connects everything together. If you've been struggling with balance, hip fatigue, or that feeling like your legs give out a little during everyday movement, there's a deeper layer to address. This isn't just about muscles, it's about how your core and hips communicate. And that's where this final exercise comes in. The 3D dead bug isn't just a core drill, it's a full-spectrum stability move that reactivates your inner stabilizers from the inside out. It helps train the small but powerful muscles that control how your legs move and how your pelvis stays aligned, even under pressure. Now here's the science, made simple. When your hips and core aren't working in sync, especially after periods of inactivity, injury, or arthritis, your body starts compensating. Bigger muscles take over, and smaller stabilizers get overwhelmed. That's when you feel fatigue, shakiness, or even pain, especially during turning, lifting, or standing for long periods. But this move teaches your nervous system how to re-coordinate everything. Here's how to do it. Lie flat on your back, on a mat, or firm bed. Bring your legs up so your hips and knees are at 90 degrees, like you're sitting in a chair on your back. Keep your core tight, back flat against the surface. Now, slowly lower one leg down, just above the floor, but add a gentle twist. As you lower, rotate your thighs slightly inward, then slightly outward, like you're drawing a small arc with your knee. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds at the end of each motion, then return to center. Switch legs. Repeat 5 times per side. You should feel your abs working, but also the deeper muscles around your hips and pelvis kicking in to keep everything steady. If this feels too hard at first, start by just tapping your foot down without rotation. And if it gets too easy, try adding your opposite arm, extending it back as your leg goes down. That's the full dead bug variation. This move rewires your stability from the core. You're not just building strength, you're restoring coordination that most people lose over time. Now, you've completed the 3-step reset. But if you stop here, you're still missing one crucial piece. And it's the reason why so many people see progress, only to backslide weeks later. Let's talk about it. You've just taken a major step. By reactivating your outer hips, releasing the tightness in your flexors, and rebuilding the coordination between your core and hips, you're not only easing discomfort, you're restoring control. But here's what trips most people up. They stop once the pain fades. The truth is, relief is just the beginning. Lasting change only comes when you turn these exercises into habits, before the stiffness returns, not after. Because when the small muscles around your hips aren't kept active, they quickly fall dormant again. And that's when imbalance creeps back in, slowly, quietly, until one day the old discomfort returns. So here's your next step. Pick just one of the 3 moves and make it a non-negotiable part of your day. Morning, afternoon, or night. Consistency is what rewires the system. And once that routine is in place, add in the second, then the third. Over time, you'll feel more grounded in your movements, more stable in your walk, and more confident in how your body responds. And one last thing. If you have a medical condition or joint issue you're unsure about, don't guess. Speak with a healthcare provider first. These exercises are designed for guidance and prevention, not to replace professional care. So don't wait for the pain to return. Start now, stay consistent, and let your hips carry you forward with strength you didn't know you still had.